You're listening to Fourth and Pain. I'm Adam Carriker with the largest arms on the D-line. That's Chuck Carroll. He's the weight loss champion. And I want it to be known that the largest arms on the D-line is about to whip the weight loss champion's verbal ass.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay,
and that's the bottom line, because the largest arms on the D-line, not Stone Cold, said so.
Wow. Stone Cold promo week here on Fourth and Pain. I can't believe you're assaulting your radio tag team partner right at the word go. What's wrong with you? You got to build up to the put-downs, Carriker.
No, I just like to kick the door open with them.
You're a horrible human being.
That's how I was raised.
Welcome to Fourth and Pain, the only football and pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player with the weight loss champion. That right there, that's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker, and he's got the socks to prove it. Wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. Thanks for joining us here on Fourth and Pain. Be sure to also join us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain, where we'll tweet out new shows each and every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Adam Carriker, we got ourselves a humdinger this Sunday. Denver Broncos, Washington Redskins. A lot of people saying Washington, despite the win, the high-scoring, thrilling win over Chicago last week, Denver's going to be a much tougher opponent, but Manning proved vulnerable in Sunday Night Football going back to Indianapolis. Andrew Luck and company hand him and the Broncos their first loss of the season. Out of the picture or not for the Redskins to walk away with this victory, I want to start by looking back at last week. I know that this is a long setup. RG3 watch. Robert Griffin III against the Chicago Bears. All right, here's all he did. 18 of 29 for 298 yards and 2 scores. Of course, had the pick. That's through the air with 11 rushes and 84 yards on the ground. More important to me, Adam, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, was the rushing statistics for Robert, because to me that proves, hey, this guy is out of his head. He's back to being the Robert Griffin III of old.
I don't know that it's more important, because he is the quarterback. He needs to be able to pass first. And I think we're seeing his progressions. We're seeing his reads. We're seeing his comfortability. We're seeing him plant off that back leg with a lot more confidence now. I think the rushing yards, as you pointed out, I think it's equally as important, because it shows his confidence in his leg, in his speed, in his mobility, his excitement level to do these things. And that, like I pointed out last week, is what separates him from these pocket passers, as great as Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and as talented as Andrew Luck is, and a good one in his own right. None of them can match what RG3 can do with his legs. And that's what helped propel them to 499 yards last week. So people are saying he's back. I don't know that he's back, but what I tell you is he's feeling good. He's looking good. And if he's not completely back this week, he was 90% back last week, maybe 100%. He will be back. The man is looking good. And I think the turnaround of the Redskins season is in full swing. We got a tough opponent this week, though, in Denver.
Yeah, and he's going to be under center as Mike Shanahan goes back to Mile High for the first time. And you know what? I think that we're actually going to see some big things from Robert Griffin III this week, because the Redskins passing offense, they rank 3rd in the league. Here's the more telling statistic. Do you know, Adam, where Denver ranks in defending the pass?
I know it's not marvelous.
Dead last in the National Football League all day. Robert Griffin III through the air. It's also going to open up a lot of doors for him to do some things on the ground again with his shifty back to normal legs. So expecting big things there. I mean, passing defense ranks dead last. Come on, man. You got to be thinking, hello, big game, 300 yards.
Oh, I love it. I think he's going to have a big day passing. I don't doubt that. What I like as well is what we saw to Roy Halou. We've got Alfred Morris, who is a great running back. Roy Halou is healthy again. He's a great running back. We've got 2 really good running backs. So as good as Denver is at stopping the run, I feel like we've got a really good zone blocking offensive line. And I feel like we have 2 really good running backs, so we can keep them balanced. We can keep them honest, even be successful. Far be it for me to proclaim that. But I believe that Robert's going to have a big day as well, and we can balance these 2 things.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that big day the Redskins had in that 45-41 victory over the Chicago Bears last week. You just mentioned Roy Halou had himself 3 big scores. Alfred Morris, he's kind of the forgotten man, but he almost had 100 yards. Brian Orakpo, the first interception of his career, goes for a pick 6. And then, by God, you've got Jordan Reed, who comes out of nowhere. Nobody's expecting him to be the number 1 tight end through 6 games of the season, yet that's exactly where the Redskins find themselves. This guy set the single game record for a rookie tight end.
Well, I remember when they drafted Jordan Reed, and we have some good tight ends here already, but what they said, and the reason they took him was because they had him rated so highly, and they had him rated, I forget if it was the number 1 overall pass catching tight end in the entire draft, or just the guy that was left in the draft. I think they said in the entire draft, and he's shown that to this point forward. I can't believe you let me forget to put my hat on.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
I had the wrong hat on the first half of this segment. If you're on the radio, you're missing. I switched hats.
Well, he's very particular.
I blame this on you, Chuck, and my gloves, and my shirt, and my chain. I'm a good-looking fly individual.
Well, I'll give you fly. We're talking about the Redskins and Denver Broncos this week, week 8 in the NFL. Adam, I'm going to give you a statistic from Peyton Manning, specifically to his career totals against the Washington Redskins. 3-1 quarterback rating of 105.9, 10 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Historically speaking, he owns this team. Does history change?
I mean, 3-1, that's 75%. That's just 1 win above 50. I don't know that he owns this team. He's had success. Who hasn't he had success against, though? Probably his only losing record is probably against the Colts at 0-1. So this is just Peyton Manning being Peyton Manning, doing what he does, the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. I'm not going to proclaim or predict a victory this weekend. What I'm going to say is there's going to be a lot of points scored on both sides. It's going to be an exciting game, a la Chicago versus Washington, a la Dallas versus Denver. And I would not be surprised at all if we did come out with a victory.
You're watching and or listening to Fourth and Pain with defensive end Adam Carriker, me, the weight loss champion, Chuck Carroll. Time for the Fourth and Pain, 4 keys to the game. Adam, give me your first.
My first one sounds simple enough. Hope it comes to fruition. Let's just not give up any touchdowns on any more kicks.
Yeah, high key.
Very simple.
Yeah. For me, key number 1, 2 overall, pressure Peyton Manning. You need to get that big, goofy quarterback moving, shifty, running around, because Lord knows he's got enough jelly in that gut. He's a little bit weighed down. Plus, that offensive line is kind of beaten up at the moment, so that would lead me to believe that Rack could get back in there. You could think Kerrigan's going to get in there. Really, a lot of pressure to be had against Denver's offensive line. Adam, key number 3.
Now, my key is very important. I think it's vital to our success this weekend.
Yes.
I think it is extremely overlooked. Now, my last key, which will lead into your last key, is we need to work on our sack dances. Chris Baker, I don't know what that was, but it was awesome. Barry Cofield, where's the taser, man? I see it on YouTube, the YouTube sensation. I see you in the Giants uniform. Where's the taser? You get a sack. I want to see the taser. As I lose my headset here, I think he's done it once in the Cleveland game last year. I want to see it again, man. We got to work on our sack dances.
Dude, I had the opportunity to talk to Chris Baker in the locker room after the game, and of course, that was the first question out of my mouth. What in the hell was that? And I love the quote that he got me. He's like, man, I got that from watching a little fat kid on YouTube. But here's the thing. If you're a Goonies fan, I planted the seed for the truffle shuffle should he get Peyton Manning this week. I'm just saying. Chunk and the truffle shuffle coming. Last key to the game, Pierre Garçon, Jordan Reed need ginormous games from you guys. Exploit Denver's shady passing defense champ Bailey's nicked up against. You're going to have plenty of opportunities to make those big plays. You accomplish those 4 things, sack dance included. The Redskins should be looking pretty. Don't go anywhere. More Fourth and Pain coming right up.
Adam Carriker, Redskins defensive end number 94, former lifter of the year. Largest arms on the D-line, here with a short pumping iron tip of the week. You want those Goldberg muscles, a.k.a. the traps? Do some shrugs. Do some barbell shrugs. Do some dumbbell shrugs. Do anywhere from 8 to 20 reps. And remember, those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. You're welcome.